So this is Adele's fourth day, and she's already off to a pretty good start. I like how she calmly followed me to the middle of the round pen before I asked her to get sent out. She didn't go out on her own. And today she's staying out a lot better, closer to the rail. She's not dropping in on that right or left back area to crowd my space. Something I've changed about my position too, I believe in the first 2 or 3 sessions I was standing on the end closer to the camera, so she felt more pressure there and stayed out on the rail better there. So now I'm trying to kind of move my center a little bit further back near the banners, and I'm finding when I'm able to do that, that helps keep her out a little bit better. So there, with that little bit of attitude, I'm just going to get her changing directions back towards the banners. So sometimes when they give attitude or they like kick out towards you, it depends if it's better to keep them moving forward and pick up the pace in the direction they're going and make work that way a little bit harder. But for some horses, I think to change their attention, it's better to have them change directions to grab their attention back. So now people just walked up on the side of the round pen, so she's either, I don't remember if she drifted away from that side now or if she goes closer and slows down near them, but I try to just keep her consistent going by there with new objects and obstacles outside. So you can see her little bit of anxiety right there, and I didn't add too much pressure. I just had her change directions when she got a little bit too fast and she kind of got nervous in her mind. You could see she was right up against the camera and she kind of couldn't figure out which way I wanted her to go. So the easiest thing I can do there is just be very consistent and certain in what I'm asking. So now with me backing up, I was trying to get her to change directions to the inside, which she did a little bit too quick for me, but that's the first time I asked for a turn today. There. So those are getting a lot better. She's not cutting in as much, and she's going back to the rail just like I'm hoping for her to do. Good. So I keep my whip in my hip hand until they turn their attention and focus to me while I'm backing up, and then I change the hand that my whip is in to ask them to change direction.
Morning. How are you? I'm super, thank you. Oh, I know.
So there, when she got a little bit stuck, she acted like she was going to turn back. Instead of punishing her, having her make the turn and then switch back quick, I ended up driving her forward a little bit more, a few steps to bring her attention back to the center of the arena, and then I asked for her to change direction. So I set her up for success there instead of having her make another mistake and her having to work a little bit harder.
We want her to just be completely accepting. And if she's real good with that, I'll start stopping. But we want to just start over from the beginning to the point that when you throw the saddle on her, that doesn't mean anxiety. You know? Yeah. I'm going to get rid of all of it. Yeah. So. Hey there. How are you? Good. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you.
So again, with her there, she kind of got caught in that not sure which way to go mindset, so I helped her out a little bit more calmer than I would if she made like a quick reaction. So when they stop and think about what I'm asking, I'm never going to push them and hurry them up to make a decision. I'm going to let them go slow and help them the best that I can to make the correct decision.
She's better.
So now here, she's not she wasn't super tight close to the rail, but she's calming down, and you can tell that her body is starting to soften just a little bit. There, that was a really nice turn right there. So I'm not going to push her to go into the trot for a little bit. She goes into it on her own, that's fine, but I'll let her walk out of her turns if she wants to.
They understand how to train a horse, but what they skip is whether or not the horse.
I don't want her to see changing directions as a punishment. I do it to see where I am as with their attention. Are they focused on me? Are they focused outside of the round pen? So when she's able to turn in quietly to me and change directions, I'm not going to speed her up instantly to have her start running that direction. I'm going to let her slow her mind down, take her time, and think about walking.
And it worked for about a month. And then it got to the point where the horse figured out that the saddle meant what was going to happen wasn't going to be pleasant.
So that was a lot better, her coming in. So she faced up with me, and I gave her that room. I kind of relaxed my body and lowered my whip, and I walked to a different position to kind of open up a pathway for her to walk in without feeling pressure. So now I'm just going to kind of work with the whip with her a little bit, rub it all over her.
Then I had a girl stand in the stirrup about 100 times till he finally quit being worried about somebody standing in the stirrup. And then I had her throw a leg over and sit on it. It took about.
So she did really well with the round penning today, so I'm just going to introduce the saddle pad a little bit.
Being ridden by a 14-year-old.
I'll have her follow it, I'll have her check it out with her nose and sniff it a little bit, and pretty much as soon as she sniffs it, I'm going to take it away and bring it back. Take it away and bring it back. Give her some reason to be interested in it, not to be afraid of it, that it can leave, but it can come back.
And that's because that's the way she grew up. The other just rattles her and makes her so upset.
So not too big of a reaction there. Sometimes I'll shake it by their side, but just because she didn't seem too worried about sniffing it, and I know that she's previously been tacked up, I figured it wouldn't be too big of a deal. So now it's fully on her. I'm just going to flap it around a little bit. She's not too worried about it. Good, so I'll have them follow me for a little while. I'll take it off and put it back on a few times. I'll rub the saddle pad all over their body. It kind of gets them used to touch and feel all over their body. Especially if you want to teach a horse how to wear like a blanket for when it's cold, it kind of gets them used to that feeling of something being on their hind end and up closer on their neck.
She had a good start. She's come a long way. Look at her. I mean, I'm so impressed with what you've done in that 2 weeks. Not going to traumatize for a year. You guys are great owners. You are horse people. You understood what was happening to her. Yeah. And you got her out of that situation. Yeah. Quickly. Yeah. Well, if I had been smart enough, a little bit smarter.
So since this is her first day with the saddle pad, I'm not going to push anything too much, even though she's super calm with it and she appears ready for a saddle to go on her. I'll give her one day to kind of soak up the saddle pad, and that I'm not going to throw some tack on her and tighten it up and make her go around. So and in the background, if you hear some talking, that's her owners just came to watch today.
Well, and you want the horse in the long run to have a good life, brother. Exactly. And she's not going to have a good life if she's sketchy and scared of everybody.
So here I start working on, I believe the last session I worked on having her hip move and moving her shoulder off the line some, but now I'm working on the hip and the shoulder on the line. So she's a lot more softer moving her hip than she is her shoulder.
She's falling off or not, but I'm on one of the weeds anyway. So I increased her feed, and she's got as much hay as she's willing to eat. I don't know how much she was getting. I forgot to ask.
Now I'm working on the shoulder, so just that little step. She's a little bit pushy and kind of like a cement block in her place when it comes to moving her shoulder out of the way.
You will not find a
I believe my audio cut out on the video here, so I'm just going to add some background music for when I'm not making comments on what's happening. So she's doing pretty well moving her shoulder. It was a little bit harder for her to do that off the line, but on the line I have a little bit more control of where everything goes. So sometimes I'm not super strict to be like, oh, I have to do everything at Liberty. Everything needs to be done at Liberty with no halter and lead rope on. It's more what's best for the horse, and if I'm able to do it off the line, then that's really great. But sometimes if they're going to learn it quicker and if they're going to understand it better, I'll use the halter and lead rope, no problem. Whatever's best for the horse. So she kept looking at the pillow over there. Not that she was scared of it, but she was interested in it. So I decided to introduce her to this today too. I always have a couple training tools laying around in my round pen. My main ones are the whips, of course. I use a lunge whip, a carriage whip, and a dressage whip. And then I have this pillow in here, kind of get a horse used to either dragging something or something being on their back. It's not so much for weight, but for the visual effect. And then I have a tarp in the round pen, and I usually have some old saddle pad in there too, and the mounting block. So she's really wanting just to sniff it and check it out, which is fine. Getting it rubbed over her hind end and up on her neck, and